We're here at Warspeed Industries with Troy.
How you doing?
You'll see Troy stick out on many cars at Summer Nats because it's all about horsepower, and you're pretty good at creating horsepower, mate.
Yeah, we give it a red hot go. Yeah, yep. It's Summer Nats is probably, I guess, the pinnacle event for most of our burnout clientele and show cars as well.
Yep.
We obviously do all forms of motorsport, but Summer Nats is where everyone goes.
There's a type of customer that comes to you and says, I need this to be a burnout motor. Do you sort of lead them in a certain way because the tolerances, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, obviously burnout cars are pretty harsh. I've done all forms of motorsport engines, and there's probably two of the most hardest categories that I'd believe would be the hardest to make an engine survive, and one being burnout cars, two being water ski racing.
Yeah,
They're the two hardest categories because there's not many forms of motorsport that'll sit between 5,000 and 8,000 RPM, or some are more, for a minute 30 at a time. Anywhere any other form of motorsport will come to a corner or a turn, or it'll be a drag race, so it's a sprint. Whereas
and even the movement with air, I guess, with cooling
they
and stuff.
want to get hot because there's no air passing through the radiators. So it is a fine line of getting something to be reliable, make power, and last. So it's been a learning curve over many years.
I know you do the Super Utes as well.
Yep.
Create all the motors for those, put all those together.
Whole series. Yep.
The whole series, and they bang around.
That's
all day.
Been a very good category to be involved in. 2 years worth of racing non-stop on the same engine for the whole category. So we've been pretty happy with that. It's been good.
Too good. Some of the exciting cars that are going to be obviously at Summer Nats with Warspeed motors this year. We can talk about Luxfer, Kyle's car.
Yep.
That Warspeed screwed together LS combination. Kyle Douglas now in Luxfer.
Yep.
You've just given that a bit of a fresh update.
Yeah, so it was due for we gave that a freshen up before Summer Nats last year.
Yep.
So we thought it was time to give it a bit of a health check and check over it. Luckily we did. We found some issues that was going on inside his. His runs actually an external crank trigger rather than internal, what an LS normally does.
Okay.
So the actual internal crank trigger wheel had actually split open and broken, and the engine was still running because it's got an external crank trigger on it, but it needs to be there for the balance reasons of the crankshaft. So as much as you want to get rid of it, it takes a lot of time to rebalance the engine without it there. So we had to have it there. The problem would have been caught quicker if we were still running it, because it would have shut fire down, but it was still running and made a little bit of a mess in there, but it wasn't too bad. We turned around for him in a couple of weeks and got it out of here because he had deadlines to make, and we've got a few that we had to get ready for Summer Nats.
Like so many others. You were saying before that an unveil car, maybe that's...
Yeah, so we've got a 400 cube VK Commodore with a Vortec. Placement of this Vortex is going to be a little bit different than probably what most people have seen in Australia. So we're running a bit behind schedule, but the block's out there getting washed up. The parts are laid out there on the bench, so that's all the rods and pistons and everything ready. So it'll happen. There's another little burnout engine here for a little Corolla.
Great.
That's sort of half built, ready to go. So we're feeling the pressure of Summer Nats again. I'm going away next week, so that makes it even harder. I'm away with the family for a week. I come back for a week, and then I'm off to America for a week. So for a trade show over there, which is it's our industry's the holy grail of trade shows. So it's the wrong time for Australians, but it's the right time for Americans. So
it is. It's that kind of end of year where Summer Nats, all the shops, everyone's like working flat out. They're like Christmas. What's Christmas? What's Christmas holidays? It's like doesn't exist in the automotive trade, I guess. But it's a bit of a break in late January, maybe. Yeah,
after Summer Nats, you sort of get to detox for a little bit and then re-go again, because you'll have the next show and next event. So it's pretty full on.
Yeah, sweet. Maybe you could give us a bit of a look around and show us
So these are a few engines we've just finished. This is a little LS3, but we've made it 454 cubes. It's going into a VZ Ute. The guy wanted to somewhat have something resembling a little bit of factory. Hence why we kept the factory style manifold, but it's a dart block, Nathan Higgins cylinder heads, and everything's about an 800 horsepower pump fuel package, being that it's 454 cubes. So it's just about ready to leave. Got a little 388 dart engine there that's getting turbo, so it's going into a VL Commodore. Predominantly a street car, but wants to make power, so it's like a 1200 rear wheel horsepower package there. We've got a 427 dart base configuration with a Harrop 2650 on it, which surprisingly is going into a Nissan Patrol GQ Shorty. So it's going to be a A weapon. Yeah.
They're getting very popular in the performance scene.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
With drag and with some burnouts.
Yeah. So that's one of our probably aside from our root style of blown engine.
Yeah.
The Harriet packages is an next.
And I just saw some of the stuff they released at SEMA.
3100.
Man, they're going to be really popular.
Yeah,
surely.
we need that for these engines because the blower is getting to its capacity already on 427 cubes. For your Commodore, which most of the guys are working on, like 6 litre and 6.2s, the 2650 is okay. When you start building a dedicated engine with big cubes, we need big blowers. So. All right, we've come out here in what I call my dirty area, which is where we strip stuff and run out a little bit of room, but got a couple of engines in here at the moment that are from other performance shops. We do a lot of work for other tune shops that don't specialise in building engines themselves, so there are a couple ready to go. There's another one that's getting a refresh. We built this one about 5 years ago. The guy was in love with turbos and now he wants that Summernats car, so we've getting rid of all his turbos and we're going to convert it over to a Roots blown engine. And the intention is for him to have that on the car ready for Summernats the following year. And that'll be an unveiled car once again, probably the following year again. So it's a Dodge Charger, I think it is, same as what's in the first Fast and Furious. So they're doing a full retro of that. So we're doing a blown injected alcohol package for that to represent the same car from the Fast and Furious. So it looks like crap now because it just came out of a Jeep, but we'll convert that thing completely over to an 871 Roots below with a bird hat on it and change it around and make it like something hasn't been done before. So that would be pretty cool. Obviously stuff everywhere. The unveiled car that we were talking about before, which is the VK with the Vortec, we're literally just starting to wash the block up now. So it's for Uncle Saf, which everyone in the industry will know Saf. So it's an LY6 iron block deal, 400 cube with a Vortec, so it's all been machined and everything. Now we're gonna go through and start washing it and prepping it and get everything ready to make its way into the engine room by this afternoon and have an engine together by mid next week, and then it'll be off to the paint shop to get painted and then come back and then we'll detail it, fit all the blower and everything. It'll be off in the car, and then this one goes off to, it's been at Ultimate Metalworks, it's gonna go off to Motorsport Mechanical, and they're gonna do their part and tune it, and Summernats, here it comes. These are just jobs that most of them are just sort of waiting to go. There's a couple of new dart blocks there, a couple more dart blocks there. I'm running out of room, so my bathroom's full of dart blocks. But yeah, these are pretty much where it all just lines up waiting for me to take them off the line and get going. At the moment I've got close to 40 blocks that are off at 3 select machine shops we use for our bottom end stuff. So yeah, if anyone says the automotive industry is dying, they're not. They're doing something wrong, because the automotive industry has been put on steroids since COVID came, and COVID's gone, but it's still on a massive high. So there's definitely a lot of cars being built for all sorts of motorsport. So yeah, it's definitely cool. Upstairs now, which is where all my stock's kept, and cylinder heads. So we've got, as you see, a lot of cylinder heads. There are a couple of different cylinder heads, but predominantly everything is LS based, lined up, ready to go. And 99.9% of our work is in conjunction with Nathan Higgins, so he'll port them all, or we'll use his new casting, and then we'll assemble them and stuff. But there's a SR20 there. There's half a Viper there, and there's a brand new set of Viper heads here now, which we're prepping for a boat actually. That's got a Dodge Viper motor in there. But yeah, the rest of it is, as you can see, just all brand new LS cylinder heads lined up, ready to put on the engine packages and go out the door. The VK that we were just speaking about, that's its new cylinder heads there lined up. So they've all been ported and ready to go. It'll get fitted out with brand new valve springs, everything like that. Put them on the engine and away we go. I guess I've been doing this 25 years, so we have good relationships with a lot of people, and this is for the guys at Gemma's Autosports who are right into 4-cylinder stuff. I try not to do much 4-cylinder stuff anymore other than my own little Corolla, but he's asked us to work in with getting a dry sump system. So my mate Joel at Velocity has printed me a whole, 3D printed a whole billet sump version for it. Printed the oil pump for us, printed the pulley, so at least they can fit it up in the car while they're doing all their fab work, make sure everything's gonna work, make sure the alignment's right, and then we can then turn that into producing a kit rather than going and wasting anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 in aluminium that won't work. We can just chuck on the printer, and a few days later we've got it all there and away we go. Obviously show cars, everything is seen now. We've come from a background where we were with boats which don't have a bonnet, so the engines had to look good. And I was very critical on looking at other guys' boats and making sure they look good. So we've incorporated that with all our guys that we do car work for, that we want everything to look and be beautiful. And like we spoke before, billet. So this is all Sean's custom alloy stuff. So billet Windsors and small block Chevs and Clevelands, billet LS manifolds, billet LS blower manifolds, intakes, catch cans, yeah, everything billet, because billet's sexy and that's what show cars are all about.
So you've heard today in the video a little bit about horsepower, thanks to Troy.
No problems.
Make motors, make the world go around.
Certainly do. Yep.
Yeah,
Looking
sweet.
forward to Summer Nats.
Yep, we'll see you there.
We'll be there.
We'll see you later. Mad.